slope today. So number one, what is another phrase that means slope? Starts with an R. Anybody remember from middle school? What? Rate. Good. Rate of change. Write this at the top of your paper. Rate of change. Rate of change. So at the top of your paper, slope and rate of change are the same thing. Same thing. Anybody remember the formula for slope? Okay, y minus y over x minus x. So write this at the top of your paper as well. Y minus y over x minus x. If you are wise, you don't need to write this in red. If you are wise, you will put your y's on top. Okay, so for slope, if you are wise, you'll put your y's on top. Okay, so for slope, it's y minus y over x minus x. So that trips a lot of people up because normally in math we start with x, but not with slope. Slope is y minus y over x minus x. Okay, all right. Number one, find the slope of 3, 4, and negative 2, 3. So this is x and y, x and y. What word should I circle? Slope. And so the formula for slope is y minus y over x minus x. So when it asks for the slope, you're doing that formula. Okay? All right, so Levi, what am I going to put in for y minus y? Good, so I do 4 minus 3. And then, Rebecca, what do I do for x minus x? Good. All right, be careful if you are using your calculator. If you are using your calculator, this is the reason why I changed my mind, because I want to show you a mistake that a lot of people make when they use their calculator. If you type in 4 minus 3 divided by 3 minus negative 2, the calculator will give you the wrong answer. The calculator will give you the wrong answer, okay? You need to put parentheses around the top and then parentheses around the bottom. Okay, you need to put parentheses around the top and parentheses around the bottom if you choose to use your calculator. Press enter. Have I showed y'all how to get a fraction in the calculator yet? Okay, when you get 0.2, you hit math, enter, enter. So here's the math button right here. You press math, enter, enter to get a fraction. That's how I want your answers today, in fractions. Yes, Stephanie? Sir, that I want on your paper is 1/5. 1/5. If you want to do it without a calculator, what is 4 minus 3? No, just 1. What's 3 minus negative 2? 5. Because what happens to these two in your head? What happens to a minus and negative? What does it become? They become pluses, all right, if you're doing it in your head. So that's where the 5 comes from. Okay, number 2, find the slope of 1, 6, and 2, 3. Mary, what word should I circle? Stephanie, what's the slope formula? Neve, what's going in for for y minus y? Good. Caitlin, what goes in for x minus x? 1 minus 2. So this is your x. So your x's are 1 and 2. So 1 minus 2. Okay. All right. If you choose to put it in your calculator, you need to put parentheses 6 minus 3 parentheses divided by parentheses 1 minus 2 and press enter. And so the calculator gives you the answer. If you want to do it without a calculator, what is 6 minus 3? What is 1 minus 2? If you're doing it without a calculator, you would have to do one more step. What is 3 divided by negative 1? Negative 3. So you've got to have that answer. You may use your head or the calculator. Okay. Number 3, find the slope of 6, 3, and 6, negative 5. Sarah, keyword. Rebecca, what's the slope formula? Good. Natasha, what's going in for my y's? And James, what's going in for x minus x? All right. Guys, go ahead. And I want to show you what happens in the calculator. Please don't shout out. Just watch or type in your own calculator. Parentheses, 3 minus negative 5. Parentheses, divided by, parentheses, 6 minus 6. The calculator gives you an error message because you cannot divide by 0 in math. So it gives you an error. When you get an error message, the answer is no slope. The answer is no slope. If you were doing this without a calculator, what is 3 minus negative 5? 8. What is 6 minus 6? Anytime you get a 0 on the bottom, that's bad. It's bad to get a 0 on the bottom. That makes me sad, all right? So you don't want to do that. The answer is no slope, okay? If you get a 0 on the bottom, it's no slope, right? Questions on that one? When is it no slope? When 0's on the bottom, or what will the calculator tell you? Yes. Okay. Number 4. Gavin's not here. Allison, what do I circle? Good. Julius, what's the formula for rate of change? Thank you. Y minus y over x minus x. Destiny, what are my 2 y values? Very good. So I do 2 minus 2. Elizabeth, what are my 2 x values? Very good. All right, so guys, when you type this one in the calculator, parentheses, parentheses, oh, please work. 2 minus 2 divided by parentheses negative 3 minus negative 5. Calculator gives you 0. That's fine, okay? Gives you 0. Gives you 0. These are 2 different answers. If you get them mixed up, you'll get counted wrong, okay? So these are 2 different answers. When is it no slope? When there's a 0 on the bottom. Look what happens here. What's 2 minus 2? 0. And here, this was 2. Where was 0 on this one? On the top. So this is a happy face, okay? So it stays happy. All right, so 0 is your answer, okay? All right, questions on those? All right. Julius, number 4, read the next thing. Good. If I wanted to find the slope of this line, what would I need to do first? Good. Pick 2 points. So write that on your paper. Pick 2 points. So if you want to find the slope of a line, you have to pick 2 points. Remember, points have to be at a cross. They have to be at a cross. So this is a point right here. But guys, look up here real quick. This right here is not a point because it's not at a cross, all right? Point's got to be at a cross. Julius, your head needs to be up, please. So 2 points. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick. Does anybody know what you do next after you pick the 2 points? You could, or you could do something else on a graph. What's it called? Anybody remember? Rise over run. So write that down. Rise over run. So that's the easiest way to do a graph, is to do rise over run. Okay? All right, if I'm down here, how do I rise? What direction do I go? Up. Okay, so rise means to go up. So I'm going to start here so that I can go up. I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my rise. And then you run from side to side is how you run. So how many do I run? 2. What's 4 divided by 2? So your answer is 2. Your answer is 2. So rise means to go up. So start at the lowest one. Rise means to go up, and then you run over. Okay? Questions on those? All right. What is the slope of this graph? Louis, what do you need to do first? Zach, what else do you need to do? Very good. Pick 2 points. All right. Sorry, I don't know if that got on video, so I'm going to say it again. So this line is going down, so your final answer should be negative. The negative can be on the bottom or the top. Okay, number 7. Levi, what should I do first?
4.
Very good. All right, this line is very special. You have to be nice to it. All right, it's a special line. What is this line doing? Going straight across. This is how I remember this one. This one has 0 slope. The way I remember it is I make a Z, and a Z goes straight across. So 0 slope is the answer to that one. 0 slope. And the way I remember it is a Z goes straight across. Okay, that's not right. No slope, guys, is not the same thing. The answer to this one is 0. The answer to this one is 0. You shouldn't have anything on your paper but 0. That's the only answer that is correct, is 0 slope. Okay? Now, are these 2 lines different from one another? Yes. This one's going straight across. What's this one doing? Going up and down. This one is no slope. And the way I remember it is, what direction does an N go? Yep, an N goes up and down. So no slope. Now, there is another vocabulary word sometimes they use instead of no slope. It starts with a U. Anybody remember it from middle school? Undefined. I think somebody said it. Undefined. So sometimes they use that word. So no slope or undefined. Either of these 2 answers. Again, the way I remember this is a U. I think about it going up for a U. Up and down for undefined. All right, so what's the answer to this one? 0. What's the answer to this one? No slope. Okay. All right, number 9. What is the rate of change in this table? Louis, keyword. Caitlin, what's the formula for rate of change? Good. When you have a table, this side is the X. Go ahead and label that on your paper. This side is the X. And this side is the Y, okay? Side is the X, and the other side is the Y. All right, now we're ready to plug into our formula. It doesn't matter which ones you pick as long as you're consistent. So you need to circle 2 of them. So I'm going to circle the first 2. It doesn't matter which 2 you do, but you need to circle 2 sets. Circle 2 sets. Natasha, what am I putting in for Y minus Y? What are my 2 Y values? Yep, so let's go for 2 Y's. Zach, what goes in for my 2 X's? And Allison, tell us what you get for the answer. I should see calculators going. Other people should be doing it as well, just because I call on somebody. 10. Very good. All right. 10. What is the slope of this table? Levi, what do I do first? Uh-huh. Mary, what's the slope formula? Julius, what's next? Y'all don't need to help him out. He needs to pay attention. All right, then what? Okay, what are my y's? Okay, then what? All right, Stephanie, tell us what you get for your answer. No, let's see what happened. Number 11, the attendance on the first day of the carnival was 425. The attendance on the third day was 575. Assuming attendance is linear, what is the rate of change? Julius, what should I do first? Good, thank you. James, what's the formula for rate of change? Good. All right. When you have a word problem, you're going to need to make your own set of points. You're going to make your own set of points. Sarah, read just the first sentence for us. Good. Just based on that first sentence, what do you think your first point is? 1, 425. Good. So 1 is your x and 425 is your y. Good. Okay. Elizabeth, read the next sentence. Good. So Neve, what do you think my next point is? All right, Rebecca, what do I do from there? Subtract what? Which 2? Okay, so this is x and y. So the comma is not like thousands. These are your x and these are your y's. Okay, so what would go in for your y? So 425 minus 7, and then 1 minus 3. Guys, it doesn't matter if you did 575 minus 425, but if you switched the order on the top, what else do you think you'd have to do? You'd have to switch the bottom too. So it doesn't matter which one you do, but you have to do the same way on the bottom as well. So either one of these will give you the same answer. Okay? Louis, what'd you get? 75. All right, somebody other than Ashley bought a car for $15,000 and its value depreciated linearly. After 3 years, the value was $11,250. What is the amount of yearly depreciation? What does it mean by the amount of yearly depreciation? How much it goes down. So how much it's changing. So yearly depreciation, what's another way you could say that? The rate of change. All right, how much is going down is the rate of change. So again, what formula will we do on this problem? Good. Thank you, Julius. All right, and everybody else, I appreciate that. Now, here's the one other thing I got to show you. If she bought the car for $15,000, if she bought it for $15,000, where do you think $15,000 goes if I were going to make like a little chart? Very good. It goes on the Y side. What number do you think goes with it? 0. Because how long has she had it when she buys it? She's had it 0 time. Okay, so 0 goes with that. All right, so when she bought it, you have to put a 0 with it. It's the starting value. So you put a 0. All right, what else do you think would go on my little chart? 3 and... All right, so everybody type this one in your calculator. Use your formula. Don't say the answer out loud yet. Just type it in your calculator. All right, so the answer to this one is C. Guys, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said that earlier. I do have one more, but you don't have to write anything down. If you'll just look up here. I'm sorry. I promise. This one really is the last one. Can anybody tell me anything about this graph? It's going to be negative. Very good. Why is it going to be negative? So if I were you, if I had this question on a test or a quiz, I would go ahead and put a negative before I did anything. Okay? Now what else would I have to do to find the slope? Find 2 points. So here's one, and here's one. Okay? Now what would I do next? Okay, so the reason I'm showing you this one, especially those of you who want to take honors next year, from here to here, how much did it go up? 100. It went from 400 to 500. So it went up 100. Then, how much did it go over? Just one. Look. Just one. Yep. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So it would just be negative 100 divided by 1. What's negative 100 divided by 1? Negative 100. Okay. So, we'll do more practice with those before I put one on a test or quiz. It might end up as a bonus somewhere. So I just wanted to show you that. All right. Now, you got Oreos. And